So he's there and he's got this beautiful necklace with all this gold and diamonds all around it. And it says 7-Eleven. And they said, what does that mean? And he goes, open 24. He's open 24 hours a day. He's always open, John. My takeaway was the depth at wide receiver, the depth at offensive lineman, and the depth at those edge rusher guys that everybody wants, everybody needs. Was there anybody specific? Because you were sending me stuff, I was sending you stuff, but you were sending me time after time on the 40-yard dashes, and absolutely incredible. A record-breaking year, actually, for the Combine.
Some of the drills that they do, like the quarterback, how hard does he throw? Milton, of course, that started at Michigan and then went down to Tennessee, I think, right, Pete?
Yep.
He was one of the strongest. I think he was throwing like 62, 63 miles an hour. So that's a lot of speed on that ball. And right behind him, is JJ from Michigan. Mm-hmm. He was, I think, the second fastest. His accuracy on some of his passing, Pete, to the guys running out patterns and things probably didn't help him because he's a guy, of course, at Michigan that's not throwing 40 times a game. Right. They throw sparingly, I'll call it, because as Pete has said all year, they run a 3 tight end offense. They're going to smash you in the mouth and say, go ahead and try to stop us. And as soon as you do come up to the line to do that, then he throws. JJ's a good quarterback. He'll go somewhere. I've heard, a lot about him going to the Vikings, Pete.
Yep.
That's what I keep hearing, that they liked the interview and so forth. So my favorite, I like the tight end position a lot this year. Yep. Big, strong tight ends. Doesn't matter if they played at a small school or a big school. There's a kid that played at a very small school, Pete, is very impressive. He's 6'7", 6'8", and 275 pounds. And he can run fast and dunk because he also plays basketball. He's not just a basketball player that they're trying to convert. He's a football player that also plays basketball. I'm anxious to see who the Raiders go for at quarterback too, Pete. That's going to be an interesting position. And I've seen Cousins mentioned a lot as the guy that might be going over there.
It's funny, in Minnesota, they really don't know. They haven't been able to get a clean read on whether or not Cousins is going to stay, or can they afford to have him stay, I should say. They'd love to have him back, but can they? And I think that's kind of where they stand. Who knows where it's going to end up being, John, but it's not that far away because free agency begins the 13th. So it's coming up on us pretty quick. So that's something that'll be fun. When I looked at the receivers, John, one of the things that stood out for me was, so you get 2 kids from LSU, right? Both of which are absolute freaks when it comes to their ability on the field, but also the times and so forth that they put up, because there is a difference. If you put up great times at the Combine, but you don't have any results, who cares? When you see these guys, they have already the results, and then all of a sudden you're running, and these guys are running in that 4.3 area. And one of those 2 receivers, John, is a little bit bigger than the other guy. He's like 6'3", 210, but he ran a 4.33. That wasn't so bad. And then I started looking and I go, let's see. You already have Jamar Chase. You've got Justin Jefferson, Odell Beckham. You want to talk about a group, and actually there's a much longer list than that, but LSU receivers into the NFL is ridiculous. I think they had either 8 or 9 players that were wide receivers that are playing in the NFL right now. You can add 2 more to that little number as well. I think the most impressive was the kid you and I have been talking about forever, John, Joe Alt. He's 6'9". He's 320 pounds. He ran a 5 flat 40. He had a vertical of 28. He did the 3-cone drill in the top 10 all-time offensive linemen. We're talking about a guy who really could be special out of Notre Dame, but his father and I played against each other in high school, so I always got to pub him up, but he doesn't need any help. The kid is absolutely there already. A lot of fun guys to watch there. That McConkey that you and I talked about last week, the receiver down at Georgia, he ran a 4.39, so I'd say he's got enough speed to be somewhere in the NFL, and he's a heck of a player, great route runner as well. The Combine is now finally done. Now they've got to digest all that, go to free agency, and then comes the draft. So like we always say, John, the NFL is, never ending, 365 days a year.
Isn't the draft in Detroit this year?
It is.
Did I get that right? Okay. That'll be very interesting as well because of what happened with the Lions and, the coach being aggressive and not going for the field goal and so forth. There'll be a lot of talk about that and how he kind of left the fans hanging with that one. But
John, did you see Jerry Rice? He was classic. So he's there, and he wasn't there as a scout. He was there to watch his son. Okay. Now, Jerry Rice, one of the all-time greatest receivers in the NFL, right? I mean, absolutely unbelievable numbers his whole career. And that was in a different NFL because they didn't throw it as much as they do now. His numbers still stand up. But so he's there, and he's got this beautiful necklace with all this gold and diamonds all around it, and it says 7-Eleven. And they said, "What does that mean?" And he goes, "Open 24." He's open 24 hours a day. He's always open, John. It's great, man. It was awesome.
As a receiver, always open.
Yep.
Because he was too, Pete. Great route runner. You know, there's another guy that was always open too, Randy Moss.
Yep.
And when you look at the seasons he put in Minnesota, Pete, and then with the Patriots, Randy Moss was, even when he was covered, he was open because he'll go up and take it away.
Yep.
That guy was, a whole different level. I'm not saying he's better than Rice, but I'm saying that I don't know if you had the choice between those two. I don't know who you take, Pete. Comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it.